Oh man, so Deus Finance, a popular protocol on the Fantom blockchain, has just been hacked for $13.4 million. We're going to find out exactly what happened, what impact this has on the Fantom ecosystem, and I know a lot of people have been affected by this, and the price has moved quite dramatically on the Deus token. We're going to take a look at this and a lot more. Sit back, don't forget to hit up the like button and subscribe. These videos are brought to you by our very own course member live streams, Ijaz.uk/member. Now, what is going on? A lot of people are talking about this hack, and probably the craziest thing about this hack, which is a 13.4 million hack on the Fantom blockchain, is the fact that it's not the first time. Yes, we've had this before. 2 months previously, derivatives platform Deus Finance exploited for $3 million on the Fantom network. This was, written on the wall, and there's something going on here with Deus, and this is specifically why I wanted to make this video, is we need to understand that if a project on a blockchain is getting hacked, it's not necessarily, but it's not the issue of the blockchain itself. It's often the protocol itself, in this case Deus Finance, which needs to take a strong look at its security. Now let's take a look at the exact exploit and what has happened before we then look at the implications, we look at the price and understand if this is going to affect Fantom. Now, let's take a look and see what happened. So it said decentralized finance DeFi application Deus. And by the way, guys, for those who aren't familiar, Deus is a platform which allows developers to build different things on it. So you could have a developer who goes and builds a futures trading platform on it, a lending platform, do options trading on there. You can do synthetic stocks. It's a platform for you to build that on. Okay. So the attacker used a flash loan to trick the way Deus's smart contracts read the data on the platform's liquidity pools. Some 143 million were borrowed as a flash loan. Remember, you don't need to collateralize. So they can just say, I want to borrow 143 million as a flash loan. And the profit they made off the transaction was the 13.4, which they've gotten away with. And the way they did this is they were playing around with the pricing. So in the Deus ecosystem, for those familiar, I'm personally just as a... just to mention it to you guys, I'm not involved in the Deus ecosystem. I'm not part of any liquidity pools there. I'm not invested in Deus at all. I know some people in our community are in the Discord, which is why I want to bring this update to you guys. But for those who aren't familiar, Deus ecosystem comprises of two tokens. You got the Deus token, which we're going to take a look at, and then you got DAI. Okay, so Deus is the governance, and DAI is the stable coin, right? This is supposed to be pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. Think of it like Luna, right, for all intents and purposes. So, and it burns Deus. Okay, very important. Now, what happened was in the exploit is very similar to the March one, but we're going to take a look at exactly what happened. It's mentioned in this section here. So using the flash loan, Deus's attackers were able to temporarily manipulate the price on a liquidity pool, which was USDC tied with DAI. So again, for those who aren't familiar, liquidity pool is something you can commit your tokens to. So you've got a little bit of DAI and you've got a little bit of USDC. You can contribute that into a liquidity pool and you get paid for doing so because you're helping the liquidity on the marketplace. You're helping people buy and sell those tokens. People who want to sell their DAI to get into USDC, they need people who are willing to facilitate that liquidity and vice versa, right? So that's what a liquidity pool is. So if you were in this liquidity pool, they manipulated the price on the liquidity pool, okay, to borrow and then drain the pool. So the flash loan allows DeFi users to take out millions of dollars as a loan against zero collateral. This is where the problem occurs, right? How can you allow flash loans on a platform? This is always red flags for kind of these greedier projects. And that's why you'll see me very rarely talk about some of these projects on the channel, because where things get too exciting and APY or the APR, however you're looking at it, is getting a little bit too attractive, often there's a bunch of risque, nefarious stuff going on, which we really don't need. And you've seen, if you've not watched my video, $1,000 to $1 million in crypto, you just need 3 clean 10x's. I'm a big proponent of that. You just need to 10x your money 3 times. And if you're getting yields of, 20, 30, 40%, why are you chasing 1,000% yields? Like, is that really necessary? And when you become that level of greedy at the top, that's when you tend to attract like a magnet some of these scams and some of these rug pulls, right? So we need to really be careful with that. The loan must be repaid before the transaction ends. Fine, we understand that. Now, on the other end, liquidity pools, which is what we've just explained, such as the USD and DAI pool on Deus, rely on so-called oracles to ensure they are correctly priced at all times and any borrowing is within limits that don't exceed the total value of those pools. Very important, guys. So you guys know I'm a big investor in something called Chainlink. Now, Chainlink has been around for the longest time. They're the de facto one of the best platforms in terms of being a data oracle. If you were to turn off Chainlink, so many of the platforms we use and take for granted today would not be able to operate because Chainlink provides the data to smart contracts. If you're running a smart contract, which let's a really basic smart contract that says if price of Bitcoin equals $50,000, I'm gonna send Ijaz $1 million. Right? If we had a simple contract, how does a smart contract know what the price of Bitcoin is? It needs to check periodically what the price of Bitcoin is. It does so through a data oracle such as Chainlink. Now, specifically in the Deus Finance case, I don't know which data oracle provider they use. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments on the Discord. It'd be interesting to understand which data oracle Deus Finance used to plug into to get their price feeds, because that is where the manipulation takes place. So you could argue this is not 100% an issue with Deus. This is early stages, so we don't know. Even the Deus team haven't told us any information yet. But could it be the exploit through the back door via the data oracle? Very important, okay? Very important to understand where the weakness is so Deus can resolve it. On Thursday, the attackers were able to take out a flash loan of 143 million USDC and use that to swap 9.5 million DAI tokens, according to PeckShield. This caused the price of DAI to suddenly become more expensive than the usual rate of $1. Because remember, it has to peg at $1. By suddenly taking out a huge loan, then the DAI token moved. And in that, they were able to then profit the difference when they moved the market, quickly executed, and then they left. See? The attacker then used some 71,000 DAI to borrow over 17.2 million DAI using the manipulated prices. Okay? Important. That's very important. So they used 71,000 DAI, which they had, so call it $71,000, but they were able to leverage that up to borrow 17.2 million DAI using the new manipulated price. The flash loan was then repaid. They paid their flash loan, and then the attacker managed to pocket the difference, which is the 13.4. Very complicated, and it always makes me wonder, anytime I read these frauds, and I'm not just talking about in crypto, like any fraud, you know, if you ever watch those like documentaries of people do these crazy scams, like, you flipping smart, man, just apply yourself in the normal world, you'll be fine, you don't need to do scams. Maybe they just get a thrill from it, I don't know what it is, but insane. This is smart stuff, like, and these hackers are all super smart people. You just wish they were on the good side, building great protocols and helping security of good companies, right? But clearly this must be a more profitable venture for them, or they just get a thrill out of it. Deus price fell 16.5% in the past 24 hours. I mean, we can take a look at that here. The price has fallen off a cliff. It's fallen more like 24%. When you look at that, if you're holding Deus token, you would have felt this a lot. If you were staking or you're in any of the liquidity pools with Deus, you would have felt that as well, right? And this is the important thing with impermanent loss. You need to be very, very careful when you're in liquidity pools. Your APYs and your APRs are very good, but it's all fun and games until something like this happens with a very small market cap project. Remember, this project, I mean, it doesn't even tell us why there's no market cap. I don't know what the market cap is of Deus token, but you know, it's going to have an impact. So you've got to be very, very careful with thinly traded low market cap tokens like this. So what's the lesson? Did this affect Fantom? What is the issue? You know, is this something we should be worried about? The answer is no from a Fantom perspective, right? Yes, if you're involved in Deus, you would have felt it. And in fact, let's just cover that off quickly as well, just so I've covered it off for you guys. This is where we're at with the official announcement from Deus. All we've had is the dev team is working on the DAI situation. User funds are safe, they're saying. No users are liquidated. Can't speak today. DAI lending has been temporarily halted, good, and the DAI peg has been restored. Okay, so that's where we're at, and more details to follow. So if we hear some more, we'll probably update it on the Discord, or I might tweet about it. But yeah, so far, not great, right? If you've been hacked once and then you get hacked again within 2 months, these are the kind of things that make me start losing conviction in the project. So if I was invested in something like Deus, which I'm not, these are the kind of things that get me worried. Remember when I said, when I'm talking about some of my more high conviction plays like a Fantom or a Solana or a Cardano, these are the things that get me shaky. If the fundamentals of the project are changing, if we're seeing regular hacks, if we're seeing rollbacks, if we're seeing, you know, all these fundamental issues with the team and things like that, these are the kind of things that make me then question whether to rotate out of a project. So definitely want to keep an eye out if you're invested heavily in the Deus ecosystem. This is just another reason for you to diversify and only invest what you're willing to lose, particularly in these small cap projects. Remember, these are super small, volatile projects. There's a reason you're getting the crazy APYs and APRs that you are chasing. So make sure you're doing with a part of your portfolio that you're willing to lose. Right, there you have it, guys. 2 hacks in 2 months. Absolutely crazy. $16 million of hacked money stolen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe if you appreciate these updates on the Fantom ecosystem and all other things crypto. As always, if you appreciate my perspective, consider checking out the course member links, ijaz.uk/member. you can join our course member live streams where we have 3 times weekly live streams between you guys and me, where you can ask me tokenomics, you can ask me questions on your favorite tokens, we can do technical analysis, we can do fundamental analysis, and a whole bunch of other stuff based on what you need help with in the market in that exact moment. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to watch the video 1,000 to 1 million in crypto, because that shows you how to do things pragmatically. I'm going to link that up at the end of this video. Make sure you take the time out to go watch that video, and I'll see you in the next one.